straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Hit that like, sub to the channel if you're not a member. Also hit the notifications to get all of my content, all of my videos. Salute to the whole entire Lions Den basketball as well as boxing community, and salute to all the people that rock with me too as well. I wanted to do a quick live talking about Michael Parsons. Um, as you know, the Cowboys they ended up losing to the Bengals yesterday, and the the Cowboys pretty much their season is over with. They're not going anywhere, despite some delusional fans that think that the Cowboys still got a shot. Um, their season is pretty much a wrap. Now, Michael Parsons has came out and basically has stated that he loves playing for the organization, and he basically stated that he's a Cowboy for life. Now, as you know, I am a Mike. For those of y'all that don't know, I like Michael Parsons. Okay, now had a few ups and downs. Not too big ups and downs. I mean, he's going through. I guess you could say him being a young NFL player. Um, in his young career, that's what he's going through. Much like a lot of the other NFL players that come in, some of them know how to deal with it. Some of them don't. But on the field, for the most part, Michael Parsons has always given 100%. There have been a few, maybe one or two games in which you could question Michael Parsons or whatnot, but um, a lot of his stuff, man, are some of the stuff that he said off the field. It's been some things that he's done off the field that a lot of people question. One of the things that a lot of people question is him having a podcast. I don't fault Michael Parsons for having a podcast because pretty much all the players are doing it now. Okay, so Michael Parsons is not the only one. You see NBA players they got podcasts. You got NFL players they got podcasts, and you got podcasts from various sports out there. So I don't fault Michael Parsons for having a podcast. Um, Here's the issue that I got with Michael Parsons, though. Okay, now he said that he wants to be a Cowboy for life. Okay, what that is going to require is Michael Parsons being healthy. Okay, that's going to require Michael Parsons being even more dedicated than what he was. Michael Parsons is a leader. Okay, he is a leader. Uh, but he's going to have to go full throttle. If in order for you to be considered one of the great linebackers that this game has ever seen, and I'm talking about, Ray Lewis status, you know, LT status, Urlacher status, you know what I'm saying? One of the great linebackers to ever do it, slash, pass rushers to a certain extent. You're gonna have to come with it mentality wise and lead. Please hit that like when you come in here. Please hit the like button when you come in here. All right. Um, you're gonna have to. You want to lead. You claim that you want to be a cowboy for life. Well, being a cowboy for life, uh, you're gonna have to do what Witten had done. You know what I'm saying? Like Jason Witten. When I think of Cowboys for life, you think of Jason Witten. You know what I'm saying? You think of a guy like Jason Witten, who, with no nonsense. Okay, Jason Witten was a professional, and Jason Witten. If it wasn't for Jason Witten, really, honestly, Tony Romo wouldn't have looked as good as he did. Okay, let's just be real. because that was Tony Romo's bread and butter. So I think of I think of that when we talk about a cowboy for life. I even think about who else has stayed there for pretty much all of their career. Um, um, think Mike, Michael Irvin. I think Michael Irvin was a cowboy for life. I don't think Michael Irvin ever left. But I think about guys like that. But the one that comes to my mind is Jason Witten. Even though that Jason Witten unfortunately was not able to get a ring, uh, I think of a guy like that. You know, um, of course, football is a little bit different. You don't really have as much control as say as basketball, because you are talking about two different sides of the ball. You're talking about defense being on one accord, and you're talking about offense being on one accord, and it goes hand in hand. If you have an offense that scores the ball really really quick, or they play the long game, they're able to manage the clock and ground and pound, get your defense some rest or whatnot, then you're most likely going to have a successful football team. But if the defense is always having to be on the field, they're tired out, they're gassed, and then by the end of the season, they don't have anything left to give, then 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be very successful, or they're always going to be depleted with injuries. And that's what has happened to the Cowboys. They've had a tremendous defense, okay? When you talk about Diggs, when you talk about Parsons, a few years prior you had Van Der Ish, but he started having injuries, and we see that he retired. But they've always had a superb defense, but they get burnt out and they get gassed by the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? It's just like what happened, the previous season. They had a tremendous defense, but then they ran out of gas. That's happened time and time again. And then of course, injuries. You got to take into account injuries and that sort of thing. And Michael Parsons has had uh, his fair share of injuries. But I salute Michael Parsons for coming out and basically wanting to be with the franchise. Some people are going to criticize him and say, "Oh yeah, why the Cowboys and everything like that." He said that Jerry is his guy. You know what I'm saying? He stated that Jerry is his guy. Me myself personally, I should be. I want to do everything that I can to try to persuade Jerry Jones to go sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And that's just being real. I mean, Jerry Jones, whether we like it or not, he is the Cowboys and everything, but he can do things from afar. You know what I'm saying? You could still have your input, but just do it from afar. But Michael Parsons, still wants to be with the Cowboys. I think it's a great thing. Uh, Michael Parsons, if if I had to predict, I think Michael Parsons will go down. If Michael Parsons can get at least 2 to 3 rings, Michael Parsons could go down as one of the greats to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? But that's going to be hard to come. Uh, you know, the Cowboys, I really don't see them, going anywhere unless like I'm even at the point now where, as much as I like Dak, I'm at the point now, man, where you gotta wonder about Dak, man, because I've made a lot of excuses for Dak. I have I have defended Dak. As you know, I've been on this channel defending Dak. I even said that he was worthy of the 60 million. And I know, we're talking about, injuries and stuff like that that have taken a toll on him, but I can't defend Dak anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I'm coming out saying that. You know what I'm saying? I can only do so much. You know, we know that it's not all Dak's fault though. You know, but he does play a part in it. Part of it is Dak. Part of it is coaching. Part of it is upper management. Part of it is health. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different areas in which need to be addressed when we talk about the Cowboys. That's why I don't really look at the Cowboys as one dimensional. I don't even look at we talk about two teams in which a lot of America loves, and that's, of course, the Cowboys and Lakers. Okay. I don't look at the Lakers as one dimensional. Just giving an example. I don't look at the Lakers as one dimensional. I look at the Lakers as, okay, you have a lot of problems, but it starts at the top, man. It really starts at the top. But besides that, man, yeah, Michael Parsons, he said that he wants to be in a Cowboys jersey for the rest of his career. You know what I'm saying? And I salute that, man. Any guy that wants to stay with an organization through the good and the bad, you got to give them props. Now, will his mindset change? It might, especially if they throw a boatload of cash at him. He might he might be willing to leave. He might be willing to say, "Hey, look, I want to go somewhere else. I want to be in another uniform in which I have a chance to compete for a championship or a Lombardi." He might feel that way in the next couple of years. Right now, he might be speaking based off of emotion, you know. But Michael Parsons, man, he's always shown me, man, that he's willing to work and stuff. A lot of people feelings might be different about Michael Parsons. Okay, a lot of people's feelings might be different about Michael Parsons. Me myself, I like Michael. I like what Michael Parsons stands for. Okay, a lot of people that they don't feel like he should be doing this podcast, and he needs to, him going to the games and stuff like that. He doing what any other young individual uh, in the NFL is gonna do. I respect Michael Parsons because, okay, y'all criticize him or not, as far as him being on the podcast, and I've been guilty of it too. But look at what LT was involved in. Okay, you don't hear about Michael Parsons in a hotel room, um, doing stuff that he shouldn't be doing. You understand what I mean? You don't hear him involved in drugs. You don't hear him, involved in stuff that he shouldn't be involved in. You don't hear him with domestic violence and none of that other stuff. You don't hear him, involved in any type of, activity off of the field that's gonna be a detriment to his career. You don't hear him involved in any of that stuff. That's why I don't have a problem with Michael Parsons. Only thing that I would like him to do is, say a little less and do a little more. But that's just who he is. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy that speaks his mind. You know what I'm saying? Much like a lot of the other alphas uh, that play in a particular sport. But um, yeah, Michael Parsons, man, yeah, he wants to remain a Cowboy for life. Can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that, man. Um, Now, Buddy Hield, Buddy Hield has came out And he has exposed the Sixers, man. Okay. As you know, I'm a Sixers fan, but I'm not so much of a fan that we can't tell the truth. Okay. As you know, Buddy Hield did play for the Sixers. Um, Played for him the last season. Uh, and he basically was stating that in comparison to the Sixers and the Warriors is who he's playing with right now. Buddy Hill basically said that the culture, in so many words, is much better. There's such an unselfish culture, right? We're talking about the Warriors in comparison to the Sixers. And he basically was stating that it was kind of like he felt like when he was with the Sixers, he wasn't wanted there and everything. Now, Buddy Hield, he did play in his first playoff game. Okay, he was able to play in his first playoff game. Um, on one end, I'm like, Buddy Hield, come on, man. You finally made the playoffs. You got a chance to see what it was like and be in there, be in the trenches, so to speak. And actually make your presence felt. I think it was a playoff win, if I'm not mistaken. Not not being in the playoffs because I think he made the playoffs with somebody else, but he didn't have a playoff win. Um, but then you on one end you finally got on the team in which you were getting a chance to play and everything, but then you go to Golden State, which is a much different culture. Okay, and I'm saying that as a Sixers fan. The Golden State Warriors is a way, 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 way uh, more established culture in terms of winning championships, things of that nature, than what the Sixers have been, especially over the course of the last couple of seasons. Now, you have to have love for the Warriors because at one time Philadelphia Philadelphia's names, they were the Warriors, the Philadelphia Warriors. Okay, okay, and so you have some sort of love for the Warriors, uh, yeah, to a certain degree. But the thing about it is, what I'm looking at is with Buddy Hield, him coming over there from a culture over there with the Sixers or whatnot. Okay, yes, playing with Joel Embiid, I get it, man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a tough task. Nobody ever talks about the ego of Joel Embiid. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what this video is about. It's basically with with the way that Buddy Hield is feeling. He is coming off a little bit, uh, I would say, disingenuous. I would say a little bit ungrateful, a little bit. You know. Now, are there some things with the Sixers organization that need to improve? Yes. Am I a fan of Daryl Morey? No, I'm not. You know, but we're not going to sit up here and act like we're not going to act like Buddy Hield was not put in every position possible to try to make his presence felt, especially in the playoffs. Now you had a chance. Buddy Hield, man, I absolutely liked him, especially coming out of college. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was gonna be, a force, especially when he played for the Kings. I thought that Buddy Hield was gonna be that guy to really take off, but it has not been that way for Buddy Hield. Okay, Um, but I think right now at this point, what the best thing that you can do is just fulfill your role like you've been doing at Golden State. You're in an entirely different situation than in comparison to the Sixers. You have a guy in Steph Curry in comparison to Joel Embiid that is gonna stay healthy. Okay, Joel Embiid is not gonna stay healthy. He's gonna be a roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry is all about chasing championships, right? Joel Embiid is just at least trying to stay on the floor while he's trying to chase MVPs and that sort of thing. Okay, the the Sixers constantly go through coaching changes. Okay, we went from coach, we went from Frank Vogel to Brett Brown to to Doc Rivers. Now we on Nick Nurse. The Warriors have stayed with Steve Kerr for quite some time, through good and bad. And like I said, Steve Kerr, he's not the best coach. You know what I'm saying? But he's there, and he's been with the organization for quite some time. So what my point to all this is that, Buddy Hill, you're going to an entirely different culture. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, especially from the 2010s, it's an entirely different culture. Especially when we talk about the Golden State culture. You know, when they had Steph, Clay, and Draymond, the Warriors were expected to be in the finals. You know what I'm saying? And it's still that way to a certain extent. A lot of people are banking on the Warriors. I've never had problem with the Warriors culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to appreciate some cultures in comparison to the Sixers culture. Because I like how the Warriors think. I like how they do certain things. I like how they do certain things. They have a strong player development. Like you see the development of Jonathan, guys like Jonathan Kaminga. You see how they stuck with Steph Curry. They could have left. They could have been like, cut Steph Curry off, even with the trials and tribulations that he was having early on in his career. But guess what? They stuck with Steph Curry. They stuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Through the ankle injuries, everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real. I didn't think Steph Curry was gonna last when he first got in. I knew he was gonna be a remarkable player, but I didn't think he was gonna last. And this was because he was constantly getting hurt. That's why I didn't think he was gonna last. That was the only reason. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you knew that Steph Curry had the talent. You knew that Steph Curry was that guy. You knew that Steph Curry was, in some people's eyes, the greatest shooter ever to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, um, like I said, bro, uh, Buddy Hill, the best thing that he could do is just be grateful where he goes. We're not looking at Buddy Hield as a superstar. That's not no knock on him. We're not looking at Buddy Hield as a Hall of Famer or anything like that. So the best thing that Buddy Hield can do is just make the best of where he's at. But he really did expose some things about our organization. The Sixers organization, man, is no more organized than some of these organizations that we give hell. They're no more better than what the Lakers are going through. Hell, the for all the shit that the Lakers get, they still have a winning record in comparison to the Philadelphia Sixers. And I understand what we've been going through. We've been going through injuries and stuff like that. But there's been a time when we've been number one in the East, and guess what? We still couldn't get it done. So just let that sink in. But besides that, man, I'm getting ready to ride out. Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe, hit them notifications too. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Shouts out to the whole entire Lions Den. Until then, man, I'm out.